Amazing. Welcome, welcome. We are here tonight to share some pretty incredible information. Certainly information that changed my health and absolutely has impacted our family and our wealth in terms of opportunities. So we're going to be running through some high-level science and just some information about how this technology works. So I'm a functional nutritionist by trade, so I'm a bit passionate about helping others heal. And this technology came into my sphere of influence actually as a prayer answered. My husband, at the time, we were living on a beautiful farm with a 4 and a 6-year-old, and he had an aggravated lower back injury. And to be fair, he was pretty flat. He was lying flat for a long period of time. And I was really starting to think, how are we going to live like this? Like, is this our new life? Is this what life's going to look like with this chronic pain? And we were praying for a solution, and all the things that we were doing normally that would shift pain and discomfort weren't working. So we were seeking chiropractic care, some Bowen, some spinal flow, MRIs, etc. So the normal things that you would go to for pain. And yet a beautiful friend of mine, she reached out and she said, Sally Ann, I know you've got a heart for helping others, and I'd love to share something really exciting with you. So we caught up quickly with Misha, and Misha had explained how her bursitis in her knee had abated and the transformation that happened in her. She'd also shared with me the beautiful transformation with Tessa with her sciatica. And we knew that these were friends of mine, so I'd spent a lot of time with them, and I knew that these were things that were concerning them. So when we got these technology and we got these little humble patches, I literally, with anticipation, stuck one on my husband, and I went, really out of options here. And lo and behold, within the first 6 hours, his pain had gone from 8 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10. And my practitioner brain went, wow. So I started going down this deep rabbit hole, just in terms of, sorry, I'm just going to mute everybody, just in terms of what was available for us and why did this little Band-Aid looking technology do what it said it did. And I mean, to be fair, there was a money back guarantee. So I always had the thing that if it didn't work like the other strategies, then we would go down that road. But fortuitously, we didn't need to. We've been blessed ever since. So I'm going to share some slides with you. We're going to run into the technology. At the end, I'm going to talk to you about the business opportunity. We're going to have a gorgeous share in the middle, just around what this technology has been doing for other people that are not me and my husband. And it is recorded, so the recording will be available. If this testimony touches your heart, or you feel as though, hey, that reminds me of my friend, we can get you the recording and you can share it for them to hear it and just really lean into what might be available for them in terms of transformation. So I'm going to look off in this direction because I've got some slides that I'm going to share. So the question is, have you been patched yet? Now, this technology is highly simple. It doesn't look like too much, you know, there's no lightning bolt shooting out of it, but it is absolutely extraordinary. And what it does for our well-being is it elevates, activates, and regenerates. Now, regenerate is a term that's being used in the health space very intentionally at the moment, because they're really unlocking some foundational principles around how we can reverse our aging. And it's not that hard after all. So David Schmidt, who is our CEO, the inventor, and essentially the owner of the organization, the visionary, the person that has spent the hours in the laboratory, has looked and talked to clients about what their experiences have been on, and has essentially nearly gone broke 3 times trying to bring this to market for humanity. And thank goodness he didn't, because this man with over 130 patents is the scientist and the inventor. So he's involved in all of the facets of the business, which is really exciting, and he is visionary. He started to specialize in age reversing in approximately 2008, where he really started to turn his research to stem cells and really recognized that there were certain characteristics in biology that demonstrated longevity and strength in the aging process. And so this tied in beautifully to stem cells. And with $4.5 million and 10 years worth of ambition, this man brought this technology to the market, and we're in over 75 countries legally. So the technology is patented. Now, what does that mean? It means that nobody else can duplicate what we have, which is highly exciting. When you're a business owner, you don't want to open up a stall and have 3 people with exactly the same thing next to you, because there's going to be pretty hectic competition, particularly if what you're selling or what you're offering to the market is really powerful. So this technology, as you can read here, I'm just going to the smaller text here. So as a result of elevating the copper peptide, including the activation of stem cells, improvements in energy, elevation of antioxidants, and reduction in inflammation, management of pain, improvements in stamina, elevation of collagen production, and improved wound healing. So we really witness this in ourselves, and certainly in my husband, with regards to the pain element. In terms of stamina, it wasn't long before we weren't reaching for caffeine and we weren't reaching for that 3 p.m. sugar hit to keep us going and chasing after our 4 and our 6-year-old. And this is the antioxidant profile. Like, most of us have been aware of at least somebody, some health expert, talking about some form of antioxidants. So we're actually doing all of these processes whilst we're wearing this technology, which is incredible, guys. This is patented in 2020. It's been for approximately, now we've got until 2040. So we still have quite a long run of this technology working for us as X39. Now, when I was working through my chronic health conditions, I'm a specialist bouncing around and trying to really navigate and advocate for myself as to why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. But none of the doctors ever said, hey, Sal, did you know that as you age, you have less stem cell activity? Nor did they say that by the age of 30, only half of our stem cells are active. And by the age of 60, there's pretty much 2 of them waving goodbye to each other. And this is what's playing out in our parents, in our grandparents, when they're having a fall, they're injuring themselves and they're just not bouncing back. So they just don't have that wound healing ability, which is the same as, say, my 6-year-old, where he scrapes his knee or gets a big bruise, and then 2 days later it's totally gone. This is a real demonstration of the activation of those stem cells really working at that wound healing. And so we all need this, because all of us are having the signs of aging, whether it be, the fine lines, the hair changing color to the grey tonality, the aches and pains, the creakiness in the joints, etc. So how does this work? Now, you essentially take the backing off, and it is a proprietary form of phototherapy. So we're working with light. If you have ever been under a red light bed, or you've used infrared for wound healing or for regeneration of collagen, very similar philosophy, except we don't have to sit still doing it. We can pop this bad boy on while we're vacuuming, while we're gardening, while we're going swimming, while we're going walking, etc. We don't have to be stationary in order for it to work. It's a patented nanocrystal technology that's designed in a laboratory in Ireland, in Galway. It reflects light back to our body. So essentially, the way I like to think about this is a teensy tiny little mirror reflecting my frequency of light back to me to stimulate my GHKCU to activate my stem cells to do what they did previously. It's non-transdermal. It is not like a HRT or a nicotine patch, so nothing is going into your skin, and there's no drugs, chemicals, or stimulants. And my favorite part is it's non-invasive. So we're not actually going to hurt anyone by using this technology. And a lot of people ask, is it okay to use with blood pressure medication? Yes. Is it okay to use on the contraceptive pill? Yes. Is it okay to use with beta blockers? Yes. And so we're able to, with confidence, say this will support you in your well-being journey. That's exciting. So we've been in Australia now for just over 2.5 years, and time is flying. Things are moving so fast. It is so incredibly exciting. However, there has been this pattern of feedback that I have had, not only clinically, but within my friends and family, that there's an increase in strength, there's a reduction in inflammation, people have more stamina, there's more energy and vitality. I was speaking to a fellow today who just turned 60, and he said, Sally Ann, I've been patching nearly for 2 years and I do not feel 60. I feel so healthy and young. I feel like I did when I was in my 40s. And that to me is exciting. And I don't know about you, but I look around the supermarket and I'm not seeing many 60-year-olds saying that they're feeling good these days. It's actually the opposite. The mental clarity, so a lot of people report the lack of brain fog and restoration of both muscular and skeletal conditions. This is powerful. Improvement of sleep. So I know this was definitely something that I witnessed in myself, a deeper REM or waking up refreshed. So that was really powerful and just makes you feel like you're ready for the day. There was no more snooze button for me. And the best bit is a byproduct of all the other cool things that are happening, which is an improvement in your skin appearance. I was having some people commenting to me on the weekend. They're like, wow, your skin's looking really good. I'm like, X39, baby. Because it's regenerating the collagen inside our body. And collagen is in every single cell, right? So it's a building block. Now, if you want to nerd out on science, there are so many incredible resources that we can get to you. However, this is just one example where a 77-year-old woman has placed the X39 on the back of her neck, so on her C7, just as the vertebrae protrudes. And prior to wearing any of the technology, you can see this red inflammatory pattern. So this is no X39, so no patch, and it's inflammation in the brain. And it's a lack of brain coherence. So perhaps the ability to remember things or just not having a lot of cognitive function. Now, guys, this is 21 days in. This is wild. There is no more of the redness in this map. And this is essentially saying that there's no more inflammation. This is improved brain coherence. And this is not just happening in 77-year-old people. This is happening in 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. So to have this technology at our disposal for less than a cup of coffee a day is totally life-changing. And this is 6 weeks in, so you can see the complete turnaround. And it could be noted that her brain was hyperactive before she came in. However, her brain remained calm after wearing the X39 for the 6 weeks, which is amazing. I don't know anything else that can do this in such a short period of time. So these are called the long-term results. Personally, I think to myself, my goodness, 6 months really is short-term when it comes to any chronic condition. I don't know about you, but I had chronic health conditions, autoimmune, a whole bunch of other things, mental health, postnatal depression, PMDD, anxiety, depression, all this stuff. And I was really sick. I mean, I look healthy now, thank you to patches and for nutritional support, but not many instances when you're being prescribed by a doctor medication did they even anticipate changes or shifts within the first 90 days. So the fact that we are able, without pharmaceuticals, to do this in the first few days is extraordinary in my mind. It is resetting to a younger, healthier age, 4,000 genes, guys. Within 6 weeks, just like the slide previously, we're balancing our brain. We're removing that inflammatory pattern. Within 3 months, the collagen is increasing. So you'll start to notice rapid nail growth, just like a volume in your hair that you didn't experience before. And within 6 months, this was really what got my attention. And when I was looking at the packs to purchase, I just went, I need to be doing this for 6 months. So if we're going to purchase a pack, I need to look at 6 months for me, 6 months for my husband. And within the studies, it demonstrates that 14 out of 15 people reverse their vascular age by an average of 8 years. Now, that's an average of 8, which means some people were less, some people were way more. But to be able to do this with your vascular system, this is the system that pumps our blood through our body, right? And it's also our eyesight as well. So a lot of people do have notation about their eyesight changes, which is very exciting. So as David Schmidt said, this is not anti-aging, this is age reversing. This is the next step. This is like, you know, the med beds that they've been talking about. They're just a tiny bit smaller than what we thought they were going to be. And they're portable, so we don't have to sit still. And so how do you wear it? I keep the packet near my toothbrush to remind me in the morning, because you're learning a new habit. This is habit stacking. So what you want to do is you want to keep it to your toothbrush, brush your teeth in the morning, pop the patch on, brush your teeth at night, take the patch off, and then put it on a fur baby bed. If you've got a cat or a dog, you can put it on an indoor plant to help those things regenerate. I've got an old lady cat, and every time I patch her, she runs around like a lunatic. It's great to see her so playful. And then you throw the patch away. We put on a new patch each day, and you can wear two, more than one at a time. However, I always say just start with one, and if you're finding that you're not getting the shifts, then put two on. But just be gentle with yourself. This is not a race. And we're hydrating, clean filtered water daily. And as impurities start to flush from the body, we really want to make sure that we've got that cellular hydration in order to support the things moving out of the body. And so one of the things that we've really realized is that despite the simplicity of the technology and how simple it is to explain, the testimonials are absolutely life-changing. And there is not a week that goes by or that has gone by in the last 2.5 years that I have not felt so obligated, would be the word, to share this technology with someone. I walk around and I'm constantly thinking, who do I get to bless with this? I'm chasing miracles, because that's what this did for our family. And it's okay to live life in that lane. It is actually fun to be able to gift people back their well-being and hope for their future, particularly where things might have looked a little bit grim. So I'm going to ask my beautiful co-host Stephanie, stop sharing, to, if you don't mind, Steph, would you mind sharing what the patches have done for you, how long you've been patching?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi, everyone. Thanks, Sally Ann. Yes, co-hosting for the first time. A lot of fun. I think there's someone else who wants to share as well tonight too, Sally Ann. Tessa has put a message in the chat. So I have been patching just over a year now. It was end of February when we started patching, me and my husband. And look, it's just been an amazing experience, something I would never have imagined straight away for me when I started patching, because I've had some quite challenging events in my life. I had a bit of post-traumatic stress, so I used to get triggered, and yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle. But what I noticed straight away for me, I felt, and I've told the girls many times, I felt like I had a soul retrieval. I felt like all those parts, those fragmented parts of myself that had just, I used to just, I guess, the fight and flight, just everything came back. I felt grounded. I felt like I was back in my body. Because I do art therapy and all sorts of other practices, I've tried many things in the past, but this was something I've never experienced before. It was automatic, and my adrenals just calmed down. Over the years, over this year, I've noticed my aches and pains in my feet, that I couldn't walk barefoot on tiles for very long. Achy feet, at night, that sort of has completely gone. Aches and pains in my joints. I'm 61, so I'm starting to feel the fatigue. Grandchildren, keeping up with them, I can keep up with them. No more sort of nana naps in the middle of the day. I can go through the day. I've even cut down on coffee. I don't need coffee. So it's just I've said my life is back. I had no energy. I thought, there seemed to be a bit of chronic fatigue as well, and everything has just gone. There's no other way I can explain it. Candida in the past, and a lot of issues with food intolerance, that's cleared. And even though I sort of lost a little bit of weight in the beginning, because I can eat now, I feel like I've put on some weight. But I can move and I can exercise, and I'm doing dancing again, and it's just an absolute joy being in my body and having a body that can work without the aches and pains. The other thing that I've also experienced is I've had astigmatism, myopia all my life, and I wear contacts, but I sort of wear these for reading as well. My script's gone down. So that's still something that is taking a slow improvement, but I'm noticing that my eyesight's improving, and even my optometrist has sort of said, you know, that's impossible. So yeah, they're pretty much what the main things for me. My skin is really sort of clearing. My daughter said in Christmas, she said, Mum, your pores, I used to have a lot of holes from acne and scars. She says that's sort of, your skin's looking really good. One other thing with my skin too is I used to get all these what is it, when your skin gets really thin as you get older, and every time I bump myself and bruise, I get those blood blisters. They're not happening as much anymore, hardly anything, which is wonderful. So yeah, and the business side of the whole LifeWave community is just amazing. Sally Ann, Shelley, and all the upline has been incredible, and it's come at a really perfect time for me, because hubby was unwell for a while, and then he was made redundant. So the business side for me has really helped in this difficult time to pay some bills and just keep on top of something. So it's just, timing has been wonderful. So thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Steph. And that's just incredible. Like, I mean, when I think about this gift that we get to share with others, I don't feel as though it's a job. I feel like I pinch myself most days. I go, what cool stuff are we going to wake up to today? And who do I get to link arms with to actually share this technology whilst it's still in its infancy? There's less than 5,000 people in our Australian team, which is just extraordinary. So I believe there might be one other share. We've got the gorgeous Jen. Jen, would you be able to share what the technology is doing for you and how long you've been patching?
Yeah, thanks, Sally Ann. Tessa asked me if I would share my story tonight. So it's a great pleasure that I actually do that. I fortunately came into LifeWave in January last year. Thank you to Wendy for caring enough and having enough courage to share these amazing products with me. I was very, very sick. I actually thought I was going to die. I have a big history of 5 autoimmune diseases, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, chronic arthritis, chronic lung disease, chronic gut, stress, anxiety, depression. I'm an ex-registered nurse, midwife, cardiac, pediatric and disability trained. I walked away from my profession when they told me to go home and die at the age of 45. And then I had to find a way. So I looked at natural therapies, and I kept myself on the planet. In 2016, one of my children died suddenly, and 3 years later, my oldest boy was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroendocrine cancer just before COVID hit. And then beginning of COVID, 6 months after he was diagnosed, he was given 3 weeks. As you can imagine, my life has been full of a lot of trauma, and especially in the last 10 years. And so stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD has been absolutely massive. I lost my home, I lost my business, I lost my health. I came out of remission for all my autoimmunes. And by January last year, beginning of 24, I was massively ill. And I actually thought I was going to die. I sort of thought, oh my God, I've escaped so many times, you know, maybe this is it. And Wendy shared this story with me. And what I've got to say is it's the greatest gift that I've ever been given, outside of my life and my children, was the fact that someone cared enough to share this with me. And within 6 days, my brain switched back on. My brain had shut down. I was decompartmentalizing everything. I was only in survival mode. I had severe uncontrolled pain. My lungs were absolutely out of control, and everything was very bad. Day 6, my brain switched back on. I actually, for the first time in quite a few years, I had absolutely no pain in my body, and I started to move forward. That was January 24. And, you know, as we know, you know, our bodies are extraordinary and they will actually go into healing. And I've had a roller coaster in the last 14 months. And, you know, my body does healing here and healing there and all these sort of things. But it does it so insidiously and it's all underground. And my body has gone from strength to strength. And even to the fact that I forgot that I had chronic lung disease until in June last year, my daughter said to me, "Mum, you haven't coughed in 5 days. What is wrong with you?" You know, and, you know, all this sort of stuff, you know, stuff that happened that I would never have believed could have happened. And that hasn't happened over the last 67.5 years. And what I want to say is that these products are so extraordinary. And we have such a great gift in our hands to be able to make a difference in people's lives. That 4 weeks ago, exactly 4 weeks ago, I woke up on a Thursday morning and no joking, this is without a word of a lie, I thought, oh my goodness, this is the best I think I have ever felt in the whole of my life. And you've got to get, I am 67.5, and I had never, ever felt as good as what I felt that morning. I am 4 weeks on from there, and that is still the same. I have no pain. I have no lung issues. I have no problems with my brain. I have my joy back. I have my passion back for life. I am excited about a future that honestly, I did not think that I could even possibly have. And what you've got to get is that this is the greatest gift that we have for people sitting right here in this amazing little packet that we could ever offer to anyone. And all of us who are sitting here, we've all got families, we've all got friends, we've all got people that we care about. And this is about sharing and caring with the people. Along the way, we're going to be able to impact millions of people on this planet, because I went to Dallas as well and I spoke with massive people over there and I heard David talk, and I tell you what, this man has humanity in his hands and he wants to be able to make a difference on this planet for all of us, not just one person, but for everyone. And guys, you know, so I thank you, there's so much more I could say, but, you know, all you've got to know is that these products work, they work underground. And in the middle of this, you know, God showed up for me. I prayed and he showed up. He showed up and he brought in this incredible gift of the X39 that I've ever used. Thank you.
Oh, you just need a second to readjust my emotional state because that was so powerful. And this is what we get to do. And, you know, it might just start with you claiming your own health, which is often where we see a lot of people starting, where, you know, Jen was like, just please, I need a solution to how I'm feeling. And then day by day, feeling better and doing better and nourishing herself and using, you know, movement and no doubt having her joy back after such a trialing time. So I'm going to shift gears slightly, and I want to cover some of the business opportunity, because if you're sitting here now, I don't know what's keeping you awake at night. It could just be your health and you're like, you know what, I just want to feel better. I want to feel like myself again and I need a way forward. And that's totally fine. We will back you 100%. However, what we have witnessed is, like the lovely Jen and like the lovely Stephanie, once they claim their health, they also feel that obligation of, I need to get out of my own way and I need to be sharing this with some people. And there's an incredible financial flow back from the organisation based on this for the people, by the people business model. And I've tried a few of these in my past, however, never been successful, but I have consistently created over and above my expected income with this technology, but also had the opportunity to bless others. So we'll cover this, and I'll try not to rush, but I am mindful of time. So if you're wanting to go on a deep dive around this technology, we have a website which will offer you clinical talks, studies, the patterns. There's a testimonial tab which goes into specific elements. If you're sitting there thinking, I wonder if this will help my next door neighbour, my auntie, my uncle, my son, my this, my that, then you can go here and get more information. There's an incredible, I highly encourage you to scroll right to the bottom of the first page and have a look at the doctors panel and understand why they are using this clinically and how it's working for them, because this is the essence of where we might have gone wrong in the medical system, in that the tools that we're using are actually creating more havoc than the blessings. Now, LifeWave as an organisation is not a startup company. When it came into my hand, I was like who? And yet they have been around for 20 years. We are legally in 75 countries. This is not another weight loss snapshot or a skincare product or a hair care product that everybody else has. This is a life-changing, patented wellness technology that is available for less than a cup of coffee a day. And the organisation went from a turnover of $20 million to, when they brought in the X39, guys, this was the game changer for LifeWave. This was David Schmidt's 10-year vision, $4.5 million. I'm not going to say no, this has to get out there. I will do it somehow. And now the organisation has gone to 430 million. We closed out 2024 at 650. And guess what, guys? We're doing $1 billion this year. With or without you, we're doing $1 billion. So if you're wanting part of that ride and part of that opportunity to bless others whilst we are still in this bell curve of extraordinary growth, then tonight's the night where I really just say, just get started on your patching journey. The company itself was voted #1 momentum company from businessforhome.org. Now, we are still #1. We have consistently ranked #1 for a reason. #1 means that you've got integrity. #1 means the technology works. #1 means that you get paid weekly without any questions. And #1 means that we're going to stay there and do more and be better and be stronger. This is David Schmidt, the inventor and scientist. This is Meredith, who joined the organisation 12 months ago and has the absolute laser focus to create this as the best direct selling model business in the world within the next 4 years. And this is Steve and Gina Merritt, who have created the incredible training platform. Everything you need to know is at your fingertips on an app, on a podcast, on their YouTube channel. There is so much incredible information to show you bit by bit on how to do this, so that when you get stuck, you can log into your app and you can go, how do I do that? And it will show you in 4 or 5 minutes. So you're not going to be flying blind with this. This is extraordinary. We won the 2024 Direct Selling News Global Bravo Awards. We were awarded the #1 growth company. And the thing that I didn't recognize when Misha and Tessa first started sharing this technology with me was how many people I was going to bless, but also how this was going to reward us financially. And I don't know what's keeping you awake at night. You might be sick and tired of being away from your family for 12 hours a day. You might be absolutely sick to death of paying back your bank debt or credit cards or shifting funds from card to card. You might just be wanting a holiday because you haven't been able to afford one. Well, I got sent on 2 last year, all expenses paid. I know Misha and Tessa did over 5 last year with the organisation. So strap in and get your passport ready, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to need it. The organisation rewards people that have a heart for helping others. And this can set you free. So this was one of the trips that we just finished qualifications for. We had, I know in our Australian organisation, we had the most qualifiers in the Asia Pacific region. Now, Asia Pacific is a pretty big region and we had more qualifiers from Australia, just demonstrating the heart of us Aussies wanting to help others. So the compensation plan is as easy as getting started to go manager by just sharing with 4 people. So for me, this was immediate family and best friends. And I did this in a few days and I didn't even know what I was doing. I just kind of went, you got to hear about this. This is what I did for my husband. And at that time, we didn't even have our testimony. I only was going off what Misha had shared had happened for her and what Tessa had shared had happened for them. So I just didn't want to be the blocker for someone else's health. And I didn't need to wait for my own transformation before I shared it with others. I just went, get out of my way. This is a cool thing. I've never heard of it before, and I've been looking, and you guys need to hear about this. I don't know what it's going to do for you, but buy some and see how you go. And that escalated pretty quickly. So this element of the compensation plan is capped at $25,000 per week, and that's US. So if that seems a little hard to comprehend, that's okay. Let's start with who would do with $500 a week. Who could do with an extra 500? Yeah. What about 2,000? Who could do with an extra 2,000 a week? Would that change your life? What about 5? Right? Now we're getting uncomfortable. I can see a few people are like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. But it's the lid is what will keep you stuck. So it's essentially, we have all the training tools to unblock the lid and move the game post as you grow. And that's what the training system does. So we get rewarded for doing that. So if I share with my wonderful friend, Shelley, and Shelley shares with her beautiful friend, Stephanie, and Stephanie shares with her beautiful friend, Kylie, all of a sudden I'm helping them and supporting them winning, because I want them to win. They're my friends, and they're my friends' friends, and I love them and I want to see them thrive. So I'm being financially rewarded for supporting them by pointing them to where to find stuff in the system. And so that flow back is unlimited in this model. So you really do get paid what you're worth, guys. So there's 3 ways to get started. And if you're going to start a business in Australia, this works out to be about $3,111 US today's exchange. But you get 20 of these, which have 30 sleeves in them. So you could literally go out and get 10 people started today, lend them all a sleeve, and you and your husband or better half will still have 5 each. It's $3,000. You can't even start on Jim's lawn mowing business for $3,000. But you're also reclaiming your health. So if I was saying to anyone, what do you do and why do you do it? I start here. This is really where you want to start if you're serious in claiming your health and your wealth. However, this is a good option for couples and business builders that just don't have the financial capacity to get to the 3,000. Or if you're just a single person and wanting to just try the product, you've got no interest at this point in the business, then absolutely the core is a good place to start. So $535 inclusive of GST and shipping, $950 approximately, and then $3,100, give or take the exchange rate. Now, it is a subscription model, and if you're dipping your toe in the water, you really need to be on a 1-sleeve subscription. And this is because you start to accumulate your points, like putting $50 bills in a piggy bank, right? And that's US bills, not Aussie. So you're going to put those $50 bills in the piggy bank until you decide, am I going to take my toe out of the water and hit the go button with the business? But don't miss out on this, guys. I cannot stress there's lots of information we've covered tonight, but really this is the model. But if you're genuinely building the business and you do what I did and you're like, right, well, this is what Misha did, so I'm going to do the same thing, pop yourself on second sleeve auto ship. That's going to frame you to go manager sooner rather than later. And some people do it in a day, just like Misha, because she was like, I've got all these cool friends that I know will help with it, be helped with this. So you can go more into the science, the mechanism of how it works, the history of the business. You can go more into the training platform. If you don't want to use the app on your phone because you do not have a mobile phone, then you can do it on the website. So we've got every step you need to get this going. Don't be a roadblocker. Don't kill someone else's dreams. We want to we want to have our own experience before someone else has the breakthrough. But imagine if Wendy didn't share with Jen because she was just wanting her own experience first. What blessing would she be roadblocking Jen from happening? And what if Shelley got started and she didn't have the courage to ring her friend Stephanie? Where would Stephanie be? She'd still have fragmented parts of herself out there, and she wouldn't be experiencing joy, and she wouldn't be dancing again, and she wouldn't be holding her grandbabies like a legend, instilling her wisdom into the family. So guys, we are seriously looking for people to partner with. We are absolutely lit up like Christmas trees. You have upline and leadership that is second to none in terms of heart and vision. So all you need to do tonight is circle back to the person that invited you here and just say to them, I'm ready to get started. I want to get patched, and get this technology on your body as you start to navigate some of the systems and services. So you'll see a lot of us, we're all around, there's less than 5,000 people in Australia. We're the fastest growing team in the Asia Pacific region. This team, Steve and Gina Merritt, has made 190 millionaires in the last 30 months, and we're only just getting started. So if you've been waiting for a sign of what's next, this is it, guys. This is it. And I'm excited because this has given us freedom. So, and blessing others. So I just wanted to say thank you tonight. Thank you for our beautiful testimonies. The recording will be in the events group, and just circle back right now to the person that invited you and say, get pouch baby. All right. Good night, everybody. Bless you all.
Thank you. Awesome.